had some problems with a microphone, but I don't need one because I speak loudly enough. I hope my students hear me well. The only problem is that I sometimes have a problem hearing because I am hearing impaired and I wear aids. But tonight I'm going to try and shed some light for my students and for you guys that have been through the program here at SMU on what do you do now that you have your degree and you have your certificate? Where do you go from here? And there's a lot of different options out there. So don't feel like you're trapped into just going to the courthouse. That's what most people think is the only thing to do is go down to the courthouse. But there's a lot of other options out there for you. So when I decided to do this field, I decided to look up and see what's going on across the country, what kind of programs are out there. Now, when I started in the field back in the early to mid 80s, it's been a while, there were no books written, there was no internet, nothing to find any information on dispute resolution or conflict resolution. So the closest book that I could find was the Bible. So I looked up conflict resolution, mediation, and there's a lot of mediators there, okay? So mediation is not all that new. A lot of people think it's a new and up and coming thing, but it's been around for centuries. The Mennonites started out using mediation and conflict resolution in their communities, and also the Quakers as well. So what I want to talk to you about is just take you on a little journey with me and how I got started in the field of mediation and conflict resolution and where I am today. So how many of you are in the program here at SMU or have completed it? Okay. Everybody's completed it or in the middle of it? Most of you've completed it already. Okay, very good. That gives me kind of a hand on who I'm talking with. I started out with just a trainer. It was an individual that had been doing mediation for many years in Colorado. He and his partner moved to Texas and they decided to train a bunch of people here in the Texas area. So a good friend of mine who worked for the Department of Texas Rehabilitation Commission had a staff member that had taken the mediation training, and she really enjoyed it, and she thought that she said you could make a lot of money. A lot of people's ears perked up when you tell them you can make a lot of money. So I was in the throes of getting ready to go to law school. I was in college, taking my pre-law classes, and I asked my professor, what is this thing called mediation? I mean, is it part of the legal field? Is it something that we need to know about? And she said, oh, it's some new and up and coming thing. It may catch on and it may not. I tell you that for a reason, because after I finished my program in mediation and conflict resolution, got my degree from Pepperdine, came back to Texas, and guess who was mediating? My law professor. So she had gotten into the field as well. So I was trained by this private trainer, and I spent a week, 40 hours doing the basic mediation, and then I spent another week doing 26 hours of family law mediation. So I did the whole thing right in a row, 2 weeks in a row. At the time, I was working for a municipality, so I was wondering, how am I going to use these new skills in mediation? And so the program that I worked in was housing rehabilitation, so there was a lot of conflict between the homeowners and the contractors, and so I got involved. I asked my boss if I could start using my mediation skills in working out some of those conflicts. And so that's how I got started. Not at a nice conference room table with lawyers sitting around, but